Welcome out to the Nerd Effect News Show. We are on episode number 19. I am one of your anchors, Dustin Vancourt, joined by my buddies,
Malcolm Morgan
and Mason Ireland.
Yay!
Nikki has a mouth infection, and so she's not with us today because evidently, something about having a mouth infection means it hurts to talk. Yeah. And this is an audio podcast.
I wonder how Nikki feels about that being on internet public radio. Whatever. She got a thing on her lip and it hurts.
Yeah.
And it's not what you think it is, so...
It's not a cold sore.
Yeah, get your fucking mind out of the fucking weirdness zone. It's just kind of an odd thing that happened. I believe the term was lip ulcer, which is fucking weird. But... Anyway.
Yes.
So
there's some news for Nikki.
Mason,
not drinking a soda.
Would you care to give a demonstration of what's in front of your mouth right now?
Prodigious proliferations of popless peas.
Yay! No more popping the peas on this bitch.
That bee came through a little bit, but
well, I forced it.
True.
But so we done got spent the extra dime to get a few pop filters for this.
Yep.
For this little raggedy podcast that we got going on here.
Mind you, we're really, really stoked about this.
Yes. Yeah, we've been going 2 years almost. Oh, wow, that's weird.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah.
Or no, August.
August is the 2-year mark.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
2 years without getting paid. How do you guys feel?
It's good enough.
We're just sinking money into this motherfucker and not seeing any return.
It's fun, right?
Fans,
we're here for the people.
Fans, how come you're not just throwing money at us? We give you this crazy entertainment. But you know what? There is a way to support this podcast. Mm-hmm. So if you yourself may want pop filters or microphones to start your own podcast, I can recommend you to a really cool beginner kit to start your own little one-man podcast if you want. It's $130. It's on Amazon. Go through our link on our webpage. It's pretty awesome. It's a little kit, got a little amplifier. It's got one microphone input on it, and a headphone output, and a little mixer. And it's made by Behringer.
Yeah.
Same makers of our stuff. And,
good German engineering by Behringer.
Yeah.
Das ist good.
Germans make the good stuff, yeah.
And now we're and now we're isolating ourselves from all German listeners by being racist.
That's okay. They don't like the Jews anyway.
Okay, we like beer. Come back, Germans. We love the beer.
I'm sorry. I love you all.
And Dustin's alienating the other podcasters, or at least one of them.
This podcast it was nice knowing you people. We just invested money into a new recording device and a pop filter, and now they're worthless.
Because Dustin can't shut his pie hole.
Nope. Anyway, how's your guys' week been?
Well, now that you mentioned pie hole, and we've been talking about beer, they got this really cool whiskey, called Pie Hole.
I haven't heard of that.
Ever heard of those?
I feel like I've heard of it.
Oh my god, it's amazing. They have it's pecan pie, apple pie, and cherry pie, and they freaking taste like pie.
Well, I've had
awesome.
A mixed drink called apple pie that
probably got apple pucker in it or something.
No. It was it's a recipe that one of my friends who's a Redditor, his Reddit name is Mock Death.
I know Mock Death.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah, so do I. I hung out with him a couple days ago, actually. His family makes it's called apple pie. There's a few different variations on this recipe that I know exist in the world. And theirs and a couple of the others I've tried taste like apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, might check your local liquor store, see if they got samples of Pie Hole. I know the one I went to had $1 or $2 for little tiny shot ones.
Yeah.
That's where I tasted it out from, and oh man, I'm getting a bottle of that. That stuff is so good.
Mike's gonna show up to the podcast just fucking blitzed one night, just being like, I had lots. How Apple pie.
Better not. He's my ride.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be weird.
You might not even make it that far.
Mason had to drive.
Don't drink and drive, people. It's bad.
It's very bad.
Yes.
You kill people, you get yourself killed. It's just a bad situation. Don't do it. Anyway.
Do, 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 do. Haven't had one of those in a while.
I know.
So where did you try apple pie? Like at a 4th of July thing? Or?
Oh, we've gotten it before. We've been trying the little sampler things, trying to taste some different stuff. Captain Morgan's pineapple rum. That's some pretty tasty stuff too. Been using that with I'll put a shot of that into a glass of Sunny D. Ah, it's nummy. Nom 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 nom. That's what I was drinking yesterday.
Sunny D and
Sunny D
And
with
pineapple rum.
pineapple rum.
Sounds delightful, actually. Nice little mid-afternoon drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of ice cubes in it to keep it nice and cold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we need drinks now, all of a sudden.
It's now the Nerd Effect Cocktail Hour.
I'm good with that.
Quick, somebody write
We
that
should
down.
make that a regular thing.
Mason, how's your weekend?
Good. Went out.
It is the day after the 4th of July that we're recording this,
Yes.
so
Yeah, went out last night with some of my buddies from work and went to a house. One of them's went to one of them's house and sat around and watched the neighbors shoot off fireworks and made s'mores.
yeah. Oh, dude, you want to talk about fucking s'mores? Last night I made a s'more with a Reese's peanut butter cup. So 2 graham crackers, a Reese's peanut butter cup, and a fucking roasted marshmallow. It was amazing.
It sounds pretty good.
Somebody introduced it to me, and I was like, I can't say no to this. I have to try it.
Yeah.
So,
My only problem with that is that it throws off the chocolate ratio. Because, to me, you need to have a certain amount of chocolate in a s'more. And with the Reese's peanut butter cup, it sounds good. Don't get me wrong.
it did taste mostly like peanut butter, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, see, but, I think you need a little more chocolate in there.
Well, I'm thinking next time if I'm going to start experimenting with chocolates, I'm going to go with a caramello.
Oh, there you go.
And I think that would be the bomb diggity.
Yes.
We should just call this the Nerd Sin podcast.
Call this the Diabetes Podcast.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Before Brimley is our
Getting in.
spokesperson.
Getting into all them sugars and chocolates and alcohols and, showing them the way.
So, yeah. So, it was a good night. A lot of fun.
My 4th was pretty good. We had we were invited over to a barbecue from an old high school friend that we graduated with. She's also Jen's hairstylist now, and Effie's hairstylist.
Okay.
Yep. And so we got invited over to their neighborhood, and they had a bunch of their family and their friends.
I was like to point out, how old's your daughter?
She's 3.5.
Yes. Does she really need a hairstylist yet?
Well, it's more like trim your hair up to her shoulders.
Yeah.
And make it easily manageable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I would call her hairstylist. I can call her barber. That sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had about probably 20 people at a barbecue, or it was actually more of a potluck. People just brought stuff,
Okay.
and there was some barbecuing, and then there was 6 or 7 kids there that Evie ran around with. It's a good time.
Good.
And then we went back to our house just in time because we're in a cul-de-sac, so the neighbors in that immediate cul-de-sac tend to get a little ruckusy.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. We've pretty much done it the last 2 or 3 years, and one of our neighbors on the east side of our cul-de-sac drops it's gotta be $1,000 worth of fireworks, and he gets the good shit. The fucking mortars and the fucking ones that launch up in the air and go off like a motherfucker. It's pretty epic. And the whole neighborhood has everybody in their lawn chairs and stuff like that around the edge of the cul-de-sac watching the show. It's pretty awesome. It's a good time every year. I got back just in time for the finale.
Cool.
Yep. So That was pretty much my 4th. Oh, and I spent Friday fucking tearing up a goddamn cottonwood because fuck cottonwoods. I don't know where else they grow in this country, but if you are the unlucky person who has to deal with cottonwoods in your area, I am so sorry. Especially if you have allergies, they are the worst fucking plant to possibly have. And I had one in my backyard. And
used to.
Well, it's now laying on the ground, chopped up into several pieces, waiting to be hauled away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, used to, I guess.
It's former enough.
Yeah. So we cut that bitch down. And said fuck you. And now I got a gopher problem. So that's next on the list. My neighbor let me borrow his exhaust thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but yeah, if you ever want to choke a gopher out of your hole, it's a little thing you can wrap around the exhaust of your car and attach a garden hose to. You just shove it down a gopher hole and you just choke them out with carbon monoxide, and they just pass away in their little tiny sleep.
You don't even have to bury them.
Nope. That was actually a benefit listed on the box. Don't even have to get rid of the bodies, or something along those lines. It was pretty funny. They just decompose underground.
So you get to kill things and not worry about disposing of corpses.
Yep.
Fun.
They usually fall asleep before they actually die.
Yeah.
That's what carbon monoxide does.
Yeah.
So it's painless.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
On that morbid-ass note.
Yeah, let's move on to the news, shall we?
Which may or may not get more morbid.
I don't have any morbid news.
Do you have morbid news, Mike?
No, it's not really morbid. It all depends on what happens with it. We'll get to it, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Auschwitz, anyone?
Again, alienating the Germans.
Throwing it back, Mason. Throwing it back. All right. The old Rochambeau.
Yep.
Here we go.
Kai Bai Bo. Kai Bai Bo. Kai Bai Bo.
I knocked my filter down. Hold on.
Okay.
He rocked us both.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So, I've actually got two news stories, but we'll go with the sciencey one first. So, just in case you haven't heard, the New Horizons probe satellite, whatever you want to call it, spacecraft, is nearing Pluto. Turns out, Pluto isn't a gray hunk of rock. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a hunk of rock, like all terrestrial planets. But it is a mix of beige and orange, and on one side of it, there are black stripes near the equator.
What couldn't they be white stripes? That would have been an awesome joke.
And Charon has unusually dark poles. See, my thought on this is that that BioWare was correct, and Charon is actually a Mass Effect game. But barring such scientifically improbable awesomeness, yeah, okay. New Horizon, and we're not even getting the good stuff yet. New Horizon is going to get to about within 7,800 miles of Pluto. Excuse me. On July 14th, after its decade-long journey into space. As Alan Stern, one of the investigators at NASA, put it, a few weeks ago, the faucet hadn't even turned on. Now it's dripping a little every day. Soon it'll be a rush. There's going to be a group of 7 instruments probing Pluto for evidence of composition, terrain, atmosphere. Oh. And, there will be a 22-hour blackout where we will not receive information from the probe, from the spacecraft, while it is observing, because it cannot actually observe and communicate at the same time. Yay, 2006 technology.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago.
Nope. And as Alice Bowman puts it, she's the missions operation manager for New Horizon. That during that 22-hour blackout, we just have to trust it's doing what it needs to do. Because normally they can send corrections to New Horizons. But during this 22-hour period, they cannot communicate with it at all. So they can't receive from it, it won't be sending, and they cannot send to it.
So for 22 hours, it's just fingers crossed.
Yep. But yeah, there's even with the preliminary color photos we've gotten of Pluto and Charon, we're seeing so much more than we have, and they're turning out to be far more interesting, essentially, than our moon, because they were basically thought to be very similar to our moon, just hunks of rock floating in space.
Dead rock.
Yeah, but Pluto's mostly orange and beige with some black bands. Charon's got dark poles, which is also weird because usually the poles of a planet are lighter. And yes, Charon is technically a moon, but only because Pluto's been reverted to being a planet again instead of a dwarf planet.
Yay, Pluto.
But what is a planet other than a moon to the sun, right? I mean, come on. No? Okay.
No.
I hear you.
No, not going there.
But we heart Pluto.
Well, I heart Pluto too, but Eris is larger, and Eris is considered a dwarf planet still. Ceres, which is much closer and in the asteroid belt, is considered a dwarf planet, and is roughly the same size as Charon, I think.
Mason needs a nap.
I don't know why all of a sudden I'm yawning so much. I'm fine. So yeah. So yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff coming in about Pluto fairly soon.
Yeah, go Pluto.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that'll probably be our next news show is an update to that article.
Very possibly. We'll see what happens. See if they've released any more information yet. And just in case you're wondering, yes, there are indeed pictures of Pluto and Charon in color.
You're going to make me yawn, goddammit.
Sorry.
I'll try it out here.
There you go. There it goes.
Okay.
Just let it out.
He had his poo face on, trying not to yawn. It was awesome.
Okay. So, my news is pretty much about the fucking Loch Ness monster of fucking gaming. So
you mean a good movie tie-in game? Oh,
hey. From what I understand, Wolverine didn't do too bad.
Oh, whatever.
It was kind of basically a God of War clone.
Oh,
But you're playing as Wolverine, so.
So schnicked.
Yep. Let's see. So, a guy by the name of Dan Diebold woke up to a hangover and a lot of emails Friday morning, all of them asking about a series of pictures he posted on Reddit of what seemed to be the unicorn of gaming history, a prototype of the never-released Nintendo PlayStation.
Yes, you heard that right, folks. Nintendo PlayStation.
So, sometime back, Sony and Nintendo were going to partner up. Sony was going to create a CD-based version of the Super Nintendo that would not only play the CDs, but also play cartridges.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, my source is coming from Polygon.com, so I'm probably going to read this pretty much word for word. Only 200 of the consoles were said to have been made, and all of them were ordered destroyed. Let that sink in for a sec.
Yeah.
But here it was, in a series of photos, the glorious boxy gray machine sporting both a cartridge slot and a CD tray.
Yeah. Basically, to finish off the history there real quick, Nintendo and Sony had a spat and broke up. And Nintendo ended up...
I'm going to go do my own fucking thing.
Nintendo ended up making the N64, and which was, the last cartridge-based Nintendo. And Sony went on to make the Sony PlayStation.
and fucking succeeded.
PlayStation 1 was successful, but it wasn't like the blow up hit like PS2 was.
No, but it kicked the Dreamcast ass and the Sega Saturn's ass. Oh, wait a minute. Dreamcast would have been PlayStation 2.
Dreamcast would have been PlayStation 2. Sega Saturn, that wasn't very hard.
Well, see, the thing is, when I went to go... I had a choice when I was a kid, when I was 13, to either buy a PlayStation or Sega Saturn. I went into the store, my heart set on a Sega Saturn, because I was a Genesis kid. I had a Genesis and a Sega CD. I was like, I can't go wrong. Sega's a thing, and they've been in the fucking console game for a while. Why would it be bad? Well, then the store clerk at Fred Meyer convinced me otherwise and told me you should really get a PlayStation. It's the superior system, same price.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't like it in 30 days, bring it back and just tell me to fuck off, basically, is what he said. So, that's what I did. I took it home and never looked back. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. But that's my little personal history with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So in an interview, he says, I found it a couple years ago. My dad had it in his attic. His attic. Diebold, who isn't a collector but does play video games, said he left it with his dad in Philadelphia when he moved to Denver, Colorado. He asked his dad to send along pictures so he could post them, but the one not-so-great photo his dad sent him wasn't very believable. This week, Diebold flew back to Philly to celebrate the 4th with family and decided to swing by his dad's house to dig up the old treasure and take some better photos. During my call with him, I asked him to shoot a video as well, which he did and posted to YouTube. You can watch it below. So in this Polygon post, there's a video of him showing it off. But how did his father stumble across such a legendary piece of gaming? Perhaps it was fate. Terry Diebold, Dan's father, worked as a maintenance man at a company called Advanta Corporation from 2000 to 2009. As chance would have it, Olaf Olafsson, a then 35-year-old physicist, best-selling novel, was the president of the company. Olafsson also happened to be the former CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, a unit of Sony created in 1991 to, among other things, create and bring to market the PlayStation. It was during Olafsson's time that Sony worked to establish a relationship with Nintendo to create a peripheral that would allow Super NES to play CD games. The company also worked on creating a Sony-branded device that would play both SNES games and SNES CD games. A falling out at the Consumer Electronics Show in 1991 broke the companies apart, but not before 200 of the prototype PlayStations were created. After leaving Sony, Olafsson went to work at Advanta. In 2009, Advanta filed for bankruptcy. He keeps everything. Enter Terry Diebold, Dan Diebold's father. When they went bankrupt, the company ordered my dad to throw out a bunch of shit out, Dan said. As he was cleaning out the rooms, he found this box. Inside what appeared to be the prototype of the SNES PlayStation. He kept a bunch of stuff from there, Dan Diebold said. My dad has tons of old systems and shit. He keeps everything. Dan says he hasn't tried turning the system on yet because it's missing the power cord, but that he plans on buying a cord that will work with it soon to test it out. The system also has a cartridge and a CD. He has no idea what's on either of them. And if you see the pictures, they both don't have labels on them. They're just they're blank.
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't know. He said, I'm not sure my dad would think about selling it because he's pretty. Wait, at the moment, I don't know. He said, I'm sure my dad would think about selling it because he's pretty broke. He added that he's going to bring the console back with him to Denver and might have a friend who runs a retro game shop have a look at it. And then after that is a series of pictures.
Yeah.
So, holy shit, you guys.
One of them actually still exists.
It says Sony PlayStation right on front of what looks like a giant, what looks like a regular Super Nintendo controller. Which is weird, because I'm sitting here looking at the pictures of the console, and there's not a single Nintendo logo on it.
Well, that's the Sony branded one.
But the cartridges are Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fucking crazy shit is all I'm saying. Like, this dude just by fucking chance
Yeah.
ends up with like one of the rarest pieces of fucking gaming history. Like this, like legitimately, this piece belongs in a museum. Like it shouldn't be in any fucking regular person's hands. At least not in my opinion. And I know there's a few gaming museums out there that would definitely hold up well in.
Yeah.
But it'd be good just to see it as part of some sort of historical society of some sort.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope they get a video of him testing it out and showing that it actually works.
I want to see what's on those discs. The disc and the cartridge.
It's just going to be a video of fucking like a polygon video of just some 3D caricature of Sony giving Nintendo the finger or something.
Well, when those were made, there wasn't a Falling Out yet.
No.
So, I mean, it could be... I mean, the cartridge could be Mario Kart, for all we know. You know, at this point.
It's weird, because it's also... It looks Famicom based, too. Like, it's not...
Well, yeah, it was Japanese made.
Yeah, but if he was in America when it was established, though, when the prototypes were made...
But the prototypes were made in Japan. It was a Japanese endeavor. I'm sure they were planning on bringing them to the U.S. market, and they would have had them rebranded and stuff for the U.S. market. But a prototype like that, it could have been a blank square box. You know,
it's true.
It wouldn't have to have any branding or anything on it. In fact, a lot of prototypes don't have branding on them.
It's crazy. I'm looking at the back end of this, and it's kind of cool because it's just it's a standard 7.6 volt power supply. Like you can buy one for $15.
Yeah.
And then there's like what looks like the standard issue Nintendo multi-output, and then there's a bunch of regular audio video outputs on the back.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So why have both of them? It's the same thing. So crazy. Yeah. I would say I want it, but I don't want it at the same time because I don't want to be responsible for it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to play God. So anyway, that's super fucking cool.
Yes.
So that's all I have.
Okay. So I guess we're on to me.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a non-controversial news show.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to read this first part and let you guys just kind of think about it and let it sit in. Okay.
Uh-oh.
A North Korean biochemical weapons researcher absconded to Finland last month, taking with him a data storage device containing details of human experiments. So,
Yep, sounds like North Korea.
Yeah. All right, so apparently a 47-year-old expert, known only as Lee, was a
Let's
researcher.
just pick the most common last name in Korea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a common family name, I should say, in Korea.
Was a researcher at a microbiology research facility in Gyeonggi.
Let me see it.
Gyeonggi?
Over there.
Gyeonggi, Chagang province.
You watch your mouth.
What he said. Okay. So, a source from a North Korean human rights group told Yonhap news agency Lee's ostensible reason for defection is that he felt skeptical about his research. Yeah. So Lee fled to Europe, or to the European country, on a June 6th via the Philippines. He took a data storage device with him containing 15 gigabytes of data and information on the inhumane experiments conducted in North Korea. The North Korean researcher will give testimony and present his evidence to the European Parliament later this month.
And that's why I said earlier, Auschwitz, anybody?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, later this month, we're going to be hearing about some scary-ass shit going on there.
Yeah. I would like to say, oh my God, I'm surprised, but no, I'm not. It's North Korea.
No.
And am I appalled? Yes, because human experimentation, bad. Biological and chemical weapons, bad. Am I surprised? No.
No, because they have a fucking man-child for a leader who thinks that all of his human...
Who assassinated his own uncle to make sure, and who was also his top advisor, just so, he couldn't make a play for, the throne, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, not surprised.
And all of North Korea is his sandbox.
Yeah. Poor, starving sandbox.
Mm-hmm. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Do you think something like this might incur, some sort of global action against North Korea?
The part of the problem is that one, if they have remotely large stores of the stuff, if we attack them, especially with the premise of making them get rid of it, they might just use it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't launch it at South Korea or China or Japan, they might just use it on their own people. And it's because they're because North Korea is the only government on earth that's that particular brand of cray-cray. Hey, can't find a more appropriate word. The thing is that with how far how much China's been backing away from North Korea over the last decade, China's not going to help North Korea. They're going to be on the same side as everybody else, because the reality is that China needs Japan and America and South Korea because we're economic partners with them. And they don't want to give up the income made by trading with those three countries. So, yeah, they're like, yes, we're good communist allies with North Korea. They still say that to North Korea at least. And then, to everybody else, they're going, fuck, why did we, But yeah, no, if they have it, if they have stores of the stuff, that's bad news. Mm-hmm. Because they have good enough missile technology to hurt a good range of Asia. They probably couldn't hit Siberia, or at least anything important in Siberia, because there's a whole lot of nothing out there. They could probably hit some of the coastal cities, which would be bad, because they are relatively important ports. They could hit a good sizable chunk of China, possibly all of it. They could hit South Korea. They could hit Japan. They could probably hit areas of Southeast Asia, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, areas like that.
Philippines?
But maybe the Philippines, maybe Australia.
What about Hawaii?
Maybe.
Hawaii's scary.
But yeah, if they have stores of it, if they have stores of it and he has proof, there's probably the international community is probably going to try to do something. The problem is that our hands are tied as far as actions go of what we can do. Yeah, because we really don't want to invade them. Because, like I said, if they have the stores and they can't use them on their enemies, they may well just use them on their own people.
Mm-hmm.
So, the problem is that for humanitarian reasons, we don't want to use food sanctions because roundabout way, but there's a whole America send a whole bunch of rice every year to Japan, or we're supposed to. But Japan doesn't want American rice to make sure that Japanese rice farmers can still get paid living wages. Which, I'm all for that. Cool. So what we end up doing with that rice is Japan still buys it from us in bunny years, but we send it to North Korea to try to feed North Korean people. Because they're in, yet again, another horrific famine, 5 years after they got out of the last one. So we send that rice to try to feed the people. And South Korea is sitting down there going, we have more food we can give you, because South Korea produces a surplus of food also, on the condition that you ask us for it. Which, of course, guess what? North Korea will never do. They will never, ever ask South Korea for food. So, humanitarian sanctions, A, are a bad idea, but B, we're halfway to them anyway, and it doesn't bother them. So, yeah. So we'd have to use military action, but that could just get crazy and stupid. So.
Yeah, I don't even want to know the fucking weird-ass logistics behind creating any sort of front against North Korea.
America and South Korea shore up the South Korean-North Korean DMZ border. China does a two-pronged invasion from the land and sea, and America invades by sea. And this is, of course, after we do, one of our famous bombing campaigns.
Because America!
Because...
Shock and all.
Well, it's not because America in a redneck, ignoramus kind of way. It's we have the ability to turn the entire country into a parking lot if we so chose. So we bomb out the military targets. We have cruise missiles and bombs that can hit precision targets inside cities. So we send some B-2 Spirits, which there's the offhand chance that China might be able to see them now with their current radar technology. But sure as shit that North Korea can't. Because China isn't too forthcoming with their military technology to North Korea. Otherwise, North Korea would have much better ballistic missiles. So, all of a sudden, their military turns into dust and gore. And then we invade by land and sea. And we just don't budge from the South Korean border, DMZ border. We do not go in that direction. A, dumb idea. It's where most of their military is. And B, landmines. Holy crap, that is the most landmined area of Earth, that DMZ. And also, it's a much happier and less bigger and much less of a PR problem if South Korea isn't one of the attackers.
Interesting. Okay.
What do you mean? Interesting.
I was saying if South Korea went in and tried to help.
Well, but if they're not one of the aggressors in trying to eliminate this military threat, this hypothetical military threat, and then they come in as saviors afterward, that's much better PR. And whether or not you are for or against the unification of Korea, they have to live with each other. They are neighbors. So if South Korea comes in as a helper that didn't do anything to hurt the country, to hurt North Korea, that's far better PR for South Korea and giving them and gives the people of North Korea less reason to hate on their southern neighbors.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, North Koreans probably been living in a propaganda machine.
Oh, it's been a
how
propaganda.
long?
It's been a propaganda machine for the last 70 years. But, but the less you do to live up to the propaganda, the better.
Oh yeah.
And if we have to be the big bad guy, as far as we meaning America, so be it. We're already the big bad guy. We can't do anything to become a bigger bad guy.
We're not the country North Korea wants. We're the country North Korea needs.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Are we
yeah,
Batman right now? Is that the deal? Is that just happened?
I think so. I have to say,
South Korea's Commissioner Gordon. Japan's Robin. China's
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Sometimes she's on Batman's side. Sometimes she isn't.
Okay, I got it. Kind of like the neutral character.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Doing what's looking out for her. Mm-hmm. So if neutralizing North Korea is going to be better for them, that's what she'll do.
Yeah. And the reality is that it would, in the long run, be better. Because it's not like North Korea is a trade partner. Okay, officially they are, but North Korea's economy is so fucked that basically being a trade partner for China to North Korea means that China just gives North Korea shit for free.
I was just going to say, and just because you're both communists doesn't mean you have to like each other.
Right. Well, China's been distancing themselves for a very long time. And then the thing is then you have communist countries like Vietnam. Like, they're not really allies with China in any strong fashion. Not allies with, have never truly been strong allies with the Soviet Union.
Who is Vietnam allies with?
No, they're just kind of hanging out and chill.
Just being themselves?
They're just kind of, yeah, like, the thing, like, after the Vietnam War ended, like, because, okay, there was the Tet Offensive in 1968, where for the years before that during the war, Tet's the New Year's, by the way. That's their name for Chinese in bunny years, New Year's, Asian, the Lunar New Year. The Tet Offensive was North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong and some Chinese army at the time attacking during Tet, where the at the time we were there, the French had pulled out and we had taken over, and the South Vietnamese forces and the American forces were not expecting an attack, because every year for the war before that, Tet had always kind of been a time of just peace. Like, it wasn't like everyone was like getting together and singing songs, but neither side attacked the other. It was just kind of a understood, we were going to chill for a week. So everyone could celebrate the New Year's and, honor their ancestors, which is very important in Vietnam. Like, Vietnam's still technically a Buddhist country too. Which is weird for a communist country to kind of still have a religion, but there's zero oppression of Buddhism. And like, there was never a huge Christian influence in Vietnam. So, but whereas China aggressively goes against Buddhism, partially because of the whole Tibet issue, but Vietnam doesn't do that. And like, after they won the war, like, the North Vietnamese government, or the Vietnamese government at that point, issued statements apologizing to like the Vietnamese around the world, like in their own country, to expatriated Vietnamese people, to America and to France, and like not to France, but and also to America, apologizing for attacking during Tet. Like, they actually felt bad about it. So, they're kind of their own bag, and yeah, they have a surveillance state going on. They're communists. They don't have all the technical freedoms that we have in a westernized, democratic republic or Republican country like America or England or Canada or whatever, but they just kind of hang out and do their own thing. I mean, most of the population is still farmers, so they're not doing anything their families haven't done for the last 5,000 years, basically. So they're just kind of, Vietnam does its own thing. And it's a vacation hotspot for Asia.
Vietnam is?
Yeah, they have great weather on the coast.
Go Vietnam.
Yeah.
I would never, in 1,000 years, in the back of my head, say, you know what would be a good tourist spot? Vietnam.
Yeah. But, well, in America, we have this washed out footage, olive drab green, and helicopters flying over it.
It kind of vilified a little.
And, napalm bombs and stuff, image of it, because that's the last time America mostly had contact with Vietnam. But, they're a thriving country. So, and like I said, they're kind of a vacation hotspot in Asia now because location. Yeah, they have a great coastline. So, and basically, whenever you have a coastline with epic sunsets or sunrises, people show up for the beach.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, while we're on the kind of subject of Korea,
yes,
care to roll that over into your other news story?
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, Mason's Girls' Generation news part third time in a row, I think. On July 7th, at 10 p.m. Korean Standard Time, aka 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, they will release the first single off of their upcoming album, which will be the song "Party," which, if you look down in the notes on the webpage, the YouTube link is to a teaser video. And they are actually, from the look of it, releasing 3 singles from this album with 3 videos.
All at once?
All shortly, all very close together. And doing more than one video from an album is weird in Korean pop scene. So, yeah. So the first one is the song is titled "Party," and it's a summer anthem.
They didn't by chance co-write it with Andrew W.K., did they?
Not to my knowledge. However, they went to Thailand to shoot the video. But yeah, it's a party anthem. It's a summer party anthem. It's what it is.
So that's what you think of when you think of Thailand. Party.
I'm using Thailand's beaches. Speaking of other places with awesome fucking beaches. It's that whole Southeast Asia's kind of tropical thing.
Apparently.
And yeah, so like I said, yeah, it's a party anthem. The song isn't released. I haven't actually gotten to read a translation of the lyrics yet, but I specifically heard stuff about drinking soju, which, for those of you who don't know, soju is rocket fuel. I mean, Korea's national alcohol. It pretty much tastes like rocket fuel.
It's a bajillion proof.
Pretty much, yeah. And they also specifically said the word California. So, yeah, it's a party anthem. Which I think is kind of funny because it's kind of a Fun in the Sun type sounding song from the look of the video, and Koreans kind of dodge the sun whenever possible. So,
Sunzilla.
Yeah.
Run.
Can't go out in the sun. Your skin will darken and it will look like you have to, do manual labor for a living. Yeah, old Chinese custom that has pretty much still pervades China and Korea and Japan. And then the second song is Lionheart, which not sure what the lyrics are about, but it's not a fast dance song. I mean, they have a dance to it because they have a video, but it's not like 120 beats per minute, dance level song. Not sure what it's about. Probably, it's from the name Lionheart. Something probably about the girl surviving something or something like that. I don't know, or being strong in some way, which is always good. And then the last one is You Think, which is definitely the dance song of the three. It has the fastest beat, and from the little bit of the teaser in the video, definitely the most complex dance, and also it's talking about how certain guys think they're cool. It's kind of obvious in the lyrics, considering part of what they said was in English in that one. And so it's probably talking about guys who think they are all that and aren't.
All that and a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And a box of Pocky.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's China. I mean, that's Japan.
That's Japan.
I'm sorry.
And a bag of squid chips.
All that in a bag of squid chips?
Yes, I'm not kidding. Squid chips. Rather popular snack in Korea.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But anyway, yeah. So that video is definitely the fastest and as a catchiest as far as dance beat goes. So yeah, the party comes out before the album on the 7th, and the album's probably going to drop within the week after that. So I'm kind of interested to see if they actually drop all 3 singles, so they'll all be charting at the same time, to see if they can not just all kill, but like triple all kill all of the Korean music charts.
That would be quite the feat.
Yeah. If any K-pop band can do it, it's them. So
I wouldn't know. I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah.
So you'll let us know in a couple weeks, right?
I'll keep everyone apprised of the situation. So yeah.
So that is the news.
That is the news.
Did we hit up the equal rights, the marriage equality thing?
No.
Last time we did this?
Did we? No, it was before the vote.
If not, congratulations, America. You did something fucking right for once.
Yeah.
So yeah, marriage equality is a thing now.
Yeah.
Just wait for that backlash. That priest or Baptist, whatever. Preacher. Yeah. He promised us he was going to light himself on fire. I am so disappointed that has not happened.
Yeah, he came out and said later that was not. He didn't actually mean he was going to light himself on fire.
Well, if this passes, I'm going to light myself on fire, it sure as hell sounds like you mean that. I'm just going to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was actually wasn't there a report of some guy who actually did kind of set himself on fire? Like, it wasn't even that specific preacher, but I could swear it was some.
I know there are reports of people offering to buy that preacher the gasoline.
Well, as well they should.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I didn't hear about that.
Sure, there's some person out there who feels that extremely that they'll do something like that, and we're better off without them.
But yeah, so yeah, yeah, I just think it's funny to like all the Republicans threatening to move to Canada over this. Canada, where gay marriage has been legal since 2007, I believe. They have socialized health care. You actually have to have a background check and mental health check done before you're allowed to buy a firearm. All the stuff they're currently against in America.
We don't want you to tell us what to do.
So,
I'm my own man. Sorry. That's horrible. Anyway, congratulations, all you crazy kids.
Yeah.
Go get yourself married to whoever the fuck you want to get married to.
As long as they're another consenting adult.
Yep. Yeah. Or in some states, as long as we have a consenting parent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe in Idaho you can be 16 and get married.
Let's not worry about that. That gets complicated. It's just if you're a boy and you want to go marry another boy, go ahead. It's okay.
Yes.
Yay for tax breaks.
Woo! All right. Well, I guess on that note, we hope you enjoyed this this pop-free version of the Nerd Effect News.
Yes.
Expect more of that to come in the future, because
Like all the time, because we have pop filters now, bitches.
whoop whoop. Yeah, we've needed these for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, those P's came through pretty hard.
They did.
All right. Well, for the Nerd Effect News Show, we have been
Macamogan.
Mason, Ireland.
I'm Dustin Vancour, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.